Hello there for all of our listeners. Today, this is Harry Caruso from Car Wash Advisory with a very special guest, and we're here to talk about a very special topic, which is that of client service and the importance of it, how we work with it. And with me is Toni Thompson, who is best described as truly the connective tissue here at Car Wash Advisory, for without which we wouldn't be the same company. Toni, do you want to introduce yourself and tell everybody a bit about yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Toni, and I'm sort of the voice of the company. When you first contact the company and you've never spoken to anyone, you speak to me. And I guess you could say I'm the voicemail system as well, because we like to have the phones answered and have people to communicate with each other. So you call us, you get me, I help you.
That makes sense, Toni, and we have a lot to talk about today, and I'm really excited about this, and hopefully our listeners are equally as so. So, Toni, I'm going to kick it off with, to everybody that's listening, how do you define client service?
Well, client service is you are trying to attract clients, and you're also trying to establish a relationship with them, and you want to maintain that. So it's just like anything else that you put effort in, you give it your best, you assist the person to your best of your ability. So client service to me is mainly making sure that the person on the other end knows that they are heard, knows that what their situation is being addressed, and leaving them with a good feeling of, hey, I'm glad I called them, so, and then once that relationship is established, you can maintain that relationship as well. So it's just basically courtesy, helpfulness, knowledge.
It is. It's a lot of common courtesy, and Toni and I talk about this a lot, and a lot of this is certainly extensible to any business, especially even car washes themselves by way of client service. Wouldn't you say, Toni?
Sure. Yeah.
And truthfully, everybody who calls our company is lucky that they get Toni over I. That is for darn sure. So, Toni, talk to us a bit about. Let's just jump into this. What about dealing with client service when it's maybe people don't quite understand what you offer as a company? And this happens with car washes a lot when, maybe they thought you were a different car wash. Maybe they thought you offer services that you don't if you're an express exterior, and they're asking about detail services. And Toni, tell the listeners a little bit about our side of that, even just at Car Wash Advisory, and how you handle all of that.
Sure. I get all kinds of calls with all sorts of questions, and that's a one thing that I really like is being able to explain to everyone that we are a merger and acquisitions firm, specifically for the car wash industry. A lot of times there will be someone on the other end that's not really that familiar with that, and so I have to explain it to them almost like a real estate agent would be. You are a broker for the car wash industry. And I get people that call all the time that are excited about buying a car wash and they don't know what to do to get it. And, I explain to them that our team has the knowledge and the know-how, and I can set up a call with them and they can go over terms or our process at looking at buying if they have something, that they see that we have listed. And there are people that call, they want to sell. And they're a little guarded sometimes because that's their baby, especially if it's a family-owned business. So you have to handle that as such and let them know that the people that you're going to refer them to can take care of them and take care of their business.
Oh, absolutely. And one thing Toni does terrifically well, and I think is important for any business that has an emphasis on client service, is there is no problem too small, and there is no person who is not your client by way of how you handle them. Don't you think, Toni?
Absolutely, 100%. Every call is important. Every call should be handled with respect and courtesy. And I really enjoy talking to everyone. You get unique individual personalities that come through. There are some people that, to be honest with you, when they first call, they're very low key. They're very, just very business. And I love it when I can make them kind of smile or laugh a little bit on the phone, and it just eases it up too. It eases the conversation, and a lot of people call now and they say hello to me now when they call, and I love that. I love getting the different calls from the different people.
That makes complete sense, and you're fantastic at it. We're so lucky to have you, Toni.
Thank you.
One thing I do want to bring up is the tribulations that can come with not having appropriate client service. And I know that in your past roles and at past companies, you've experienced this a bit, and we all have, everybody has, all the listeners have. Everybody's been in a situation where you are facing somebody at an organization that is not handling it properly. What do you see as the common pitfalls and things that we even over here, but as well as any company, should be taking into, prepared for, take into precaution for, all of that stuff?
Well, you have to keep in mind too that probably around 61% of people who have contacted you will no longer want to do business with you if you give them bad client/customer service, because that's representative of the whole company. So if someone calls me and they have a question about something, and they're calling because they want to know, and if I don't know the answer to that question, you never just say, well, I don't know. That's ridiculous. So the best thing to say is, I'm not the best person to answer that question for you. If you will give me your information, I'll have someone reach out to you, which we do. But also, too, you get people that call, and a lot of times I think I've pretty well learned that when people call and they're angry, more than anything, they're disappointed in something, or they feel
Or they
like,
spoke to me.
no.
Right? That could be the case.
Yeah, no, they love you. But, people feel like that they've been let down somehow. And so if you can go in there and diffuse the situation and remedy the situation and let them know that their call and their business is important, that's the best thing to do, is just to let people know, like you said, no matter how small it may seem, it's important.
Yeah, it is. And I'll tell you what, we actually deal with very high stakes situations. As Toni alluded to earlier, 9 out of 10 of our clients, this is their entire world, their entire life, all of their life's work bundled in one. And to treat it with anything but the highest level of utmost respect and care would be negligent by all definitions. But I do think, everything we are discussing here applies equally to lower stakes sort of situations.
Right.
And one of the things I think Toni does just a fantastic job with is understanding that regardless of what objectively a problem may be by way of importance to a company or an organization, it doesn't really matter all that much, because what really matters is how important it is to the person on the other side.
Right. Agreed. Totally agree. And one thing to keep in mind, in my view, what may start out as a small company, for example, they're not necessarily always going to be the little guy, So you want to develop a good relationship with these people from the beginning. And then as they grow, they'll grow with you, hopefully, as long as we continue to take care of their business, take care of their needs, show respect and courtesy. And they learn to trust us, when they find that they can count on us for things. For example, someone, hey, can I get so-and-so to call me this afternoon? It's really important. Sure. And when I give my word, Harry can tell you that I am a polite nag. I'm going to make sure you get your call. And if for some reason that can't be done, I will contact you and let you know and try to give you an alternative. But yeah, so, just like I said, the little guy's not always going to be the little guy necessarily.
No, and little is relative. Absolutely, Toni.
Sure.
I want to also use this time and an opportunity with all of our listeners to talk a bit about us as a company, because I think everybody would agree you are probably the best embodiment of the company values over here, which we take very seriously. We all keep ourselves in check with, and don't get me wrong, just like any other company, are there momentary strays? Yeah, of course, from the path. But if you surround yourself with the right people who truly believe in the same values, you'll always return to your true north, if you will.
Absolutely.
So over here at Car Wash Advisory, we have 4 core values that we take very seriously. And as a little nugget, they weren't always this, and we've iterated through them and really come down to a point of understanding us, our value, and us as a company as a whole to a far larger extent than we ever have. So we believe in discipline, we believe in hard work, we believe in kindness, earnest kindness, and lastly, we believe in supportiveness, which is, I think, is the Toni is probably the most supportive person I know, and goodness knows the weight on Toni from me alone, let alone the entire team, is quite a burden to bear.
No, I love it. I love it because, way back when you guys were interviewing me, I was interviewing you as well. So all of the people that I talked to checked all the boxes that I had. And no, I love it. You guys are great, fantastic. And I'm not just saying that because your name is on my check. Everyone's great. It's fantastic. We have such a wonderful team of people, and I can honestly say that I would never present, something that I don't feel like would be good to the public. And I 100% just think we're a fantastic team overall. And I support that. And I hope when someone does call and reach out that I represent that well.
That's funny. I couldn't agree more. So, Toni, tell us something off the beaten path by way of client services, because this is really the topic of discussion here, and it can go wrong in so many ways. I'll speak from my personal experience that there are only so many hours in a day, and having a team and support to be able to facilitate the necessary communications, and you keep me very great with this, Toni, so accountable is, yes, not everything can be done immediately, but right. Certainly a response can be had immediately. And it's so very important. Talk to us more and the listeners more about how you view the role of client service throughout the lifespan of a client over here at Car Wash Advisory.
Well, like I said, everyone is important. Every potential client is important. So you establish the relationship from the beginning, and you maintain the relationship through meeting their needs, and keeping up with each other a little bit as well. We do a great job with that, I feel like. So going through the development of the relationship, you have to kind of earn trust and respect with each other as well. So there's different variants of that too. Different situations can come up, and it might be a wonderful client and you have a great relationship with them, but something comes up on the other end and you have to fix it. But you've learned that you can trust each other and you work together to get that corrected. So I think so much of it is establishing, but also maintaining a good relationship and open communication with our clients.
I think that's a key point here, Toni, and that's that sales in any business is different than client service. There may be an overlap for a momentary period of time, but my goodness, are they separate and independent objectives?
Well, you can sell someone something, but keeping them as your client is the work. And making sure that they want to come back to you is also, work. And you have to earn that, right? I feel like, and I think that we do. People have learned, like I said, that they can count on us and they can trust us and that we know our stuff, so to speak. We've got a fantastic team, and and we've got a team full of personality as well. So when people talk to everyone on our team, they enjoy talking to them. And there are people that have called that I know their personality is going to mesh really well with whoever I'm getting them to speak with.
Anybody but Harry.
No,
right, totally.
Everybody loves talking to Harry. You're a celebrity in our eyes.
Toni, so in terms of all of this with making sure that somebody is properly serviced, there's really, and you tell me, or let's talk about, there's really only one way to actually do this properly, and that's to have a hell of a lot of belief in what your team and company is providing.
Absolutely. You guys are not just your run-of-the-mill group of people. And I can say that honestly. You're a very unique group of people. And one of the reasons why I love working for you and working with you and representing you is because of the kind of people you are, and because of your personalities and what your morals and your values are as a business and just as people. And I love that. And I love being able to represent that. I couldn't represent a company, and I've actually had to do this before, if I felt like they were not a company that I would want to do business with. Why would I offer that to someone else or present it as, oh, this is going to be a good situation for you? That's just not fair to the other person. And I don't feel good about it. I have to look myself in the mirror and be okay with what I see.
Well, here's the funniest part, Toni. So in other businesses, 99% of businesses, the idea of a repeat or a recurrent customer is so prevalent, and it's so important and so measurable, and the cadence and frequency in which that repeat happens is far more frequent, right? In our business, you can kind of get away with murder because the truth of the matter is it's a transactionary business. So the idea of a repeat customer, yes, even academically or theoretically, it does exist by way of somebody who maybe owns car washes, sells them, and then gets back into the industry, for which there are no shortage of examples. But by way of the fundamental business, you can kind of get away with murder with what we do. It's one and done.
But we don't do that.
No.
One and done, yes, but you have to consider too that whoever you're working with probably knows a bunch of other people, and the word of mouth goes a very, very long way. So maybe you don't do business with them again, but you still keep a relationship with them, and then they know someone and they're going to refer that person to you because they trust you and they know that we've done a good job for them. So they're going to refer them. And we get a lot of people that have contact us, and I've, heard many people say, John Doe referred me to you, or you worked with so-and-so on their car wash deal, or I read an article about you and I really liked what I read. And so, yeah, I think one and done is one thing, but that doesn't mean you're just going to do a sloppy job of it. And we don't do that. We do our best. It doesn't matter if it's a one-time deal or if it's a 10-time deal. We do the best. Yeah.
Oh, we always. And I've been in the situation that you mentioned earlier multiple times in my life where you're working for a group, you're working for a company, you're part of an organization for which you're constantly and consistently put into these scenarios that make you truthfully and genuinely uncomfortable.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's really
Absolutely.
tough.
Yeah. And I've never been that way here. I've been here now a couple of years. And like I said, I can wholeheartedly say that representing you guys and trying to tell someone about my team and, if they're going to talk to Colin or JM, giving them a little insight into their personality. And I'm always happy and proud to do that because I'm proud of our team. Like I said, we've got a great group of people, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, we've been incredibly blessed and fortunate for the group that yeah, it's insane. It's hard for me to sometimes sit back and look at. Yep. It's just crazy. Wow. So Toni, what else do you want to share with anybody who's listening? I'm starting to think that we should have had you do this with somebody other than me, because for many reasons, but no, this is fantastic. All right. So you have the ears of all listeners. What do you want to tell them? Not to put any pressure on you.
Oh, of course not. No pressure at all. No, I mean, I just want anyone to know that when they think about calling Car Wash Advisory for any reason, just know that you're going to get the best service and the best response, and we're going to do what we can to help you. If we can't help you with something, we're good at also explaining why and referring them in another direction. We don't just say, sorry, I can't help you. So yeah, you call us, and if we can help you, wonderful, and we'll move forward. And if there's some reason, you're just calling with questions, call us. And you're going to get a response, and you're going to get a group of people that knows which way to guide and direct you. So, and as far as voicemail, forget it. I am the voicemail. So
how do you really feel? No, but you know what? We were going to conclude, but that's a super salient point that's worth mentioning, which is, Toni, there are so many instances where we're faced with the otherwise, to most, internal dilemma of somebody coming to us for ostensibly what we do as a business, but for which we know darn well we're not the best equipped to help them. And I can't tell you how many conversations I have with people who say, Harry, well, for many reasons, they say, Harry, you're a moron. How are you turning away clients? And my answer is, well, they're not really clients if we're not providing to them the best service possible on their end. And many a times, we're not that provider. I do think we do an exceptional job of being forward and to explain all of this when that is the case. And many times, an owner may be best to go with a local real estate agent in certain instances, or go with a different advisor for various reasons. But I think
you're not turning them away, actually. You're redirecting them. So it's not like you're just saying, sorry, can't help you. You are still continuing to give them some sort of advice. That's Car Wash Advisory. And they see that in our name and they expect that. So whether they're going to be someone that we're going to be able to do business with for whatever reason or not, we still try to guide them in another direction that would be helpful to them. We just don't just leave them hanging, because a lot of times people call and they don't really know which way to go. So like you said, there are people that don't even realize realtors would be people that you would work with on this. So yeah, advisory, that's our name.
It is our name. And
Mhm.
I'm very proud of the way that we are able to handle that. And you do such a fantastic job with it. So that's the synopsis of client services.
Yep.
As a last concluding question, is it a correct statement to say that I'm your favorite person at Car Wash Advisory?
Yes, you're just the cream of the crop, man. What can I say?
Oh, man, Toni. All right, this is fantastic. I know that this is a bit odd and unusual and off the beaten path for us by way of a topic and coverage, but I'd be remiss and quite honestly foolish to not have Toni Thompson here with us and exposed to the greater world, because she is just the best, literally.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I love it. I love it.
I can't thank you enough for joining. I think people are going to be more interested than we may have initially thought, and I can't wait for this to be published. So once again, this is Harry Caruso and Toni Thompson of Car Wash Advisory, and we look forward to our next show and podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening, everyone.